from the Cultural Arts Council of Douglasville, Georgia. It's about bloomin' time.
Hello, my name is Martin Pate. I'm an artist from Noonan, Georgia. I'm one of the exhibiting artists in the upcoming show for the Cultural Arts Council of Douglasville titled It's About Blooming Time. I'm honored to have been asked to be in the show. I was really looking forward to going to the opening and seeing the show up, getting to know the other artists. But as you know, we're not going to be able to do that, and the best we'll be able to do for now is to show you some videos of ourselves, tell you a little bit about ourselves, and show you some of the work on videos. So looking forward to that. I hope you'll enjoy those. I think next week we'll talk about some of the actual artwork that we did for the show. A little bit about myself. I studied illustration at Ringling School of Art and worked many years as an illustrator. I still do illustration. I've been doing a series of commissions for the National Park Service since around 1991 and continue to do those. I do local commissions, portraits, I do gallery work. The work you'll see of mine in the show reflects the variety of work that I do. You'll see floral still lifes, you'll see landscapes, and you'll see figurative paintings of dancers. I've painted dancers since I started learning to draw and paint. In art school, really, I was a follower of Degas and an illustrator named Robert Heindel, who later became very well known for painting dancers. I think it follows my love of painting and drawing the figure. The costumes and the color and the athleticism all appeal to me. I put some in this show because, first of all, a lot of what I do is painting paintings of dancers, but I've often seen them as a flower almost. Some of the titles reflect that. In fact, there's one in this show called Opening Rose. It's a dancer in a red tutu, and I don't know, the pose and the costumes suggest to me an opening flower or a rose. My first job out of art school was for a studio in Atlanta called Brown Dog Studios. They hired me to do a series of bank checks, Western cowboy Indian theme, based on Remington paintings. But when I got there, they actually had another job in there for me to do prior to that one, and it was a painting of Hank Aaron. They were going to build a statue for him at Braves Stadium, and they were doing a card to send out to people as a fundraiser to try to get interested in raising the money for the statue. So that was my actual first professional job after graduation, was a painting of Hank Aaron and then a drawing for the same purpose that ran in the newspaper. Also early on, after I had moved to Noonan, but around 91, I got a call from Coca-Cola, and this was on a Friday morning, they wanted me to do a drawing to go on a Coca-Cola can to commemorate the Braves winning the 1991 National League pennant. They had gone from worst to first that season, and so they called me Friday morning. They had to have the drawing by 2 o'clock that afternoon in Atlanta. This was before email and the ability to send digital images. So I did the drawing. I got approval through faxes. I drove the drawing into Atlanta that afternoon, gave it to a guy in the parking garage at the Coca-Cola building, and by Wednesday of the next week, those cans were in the grocery stores in Noonan, and pretty exciting thing to see for a young illustrator. As a result of some of the paintings I did for the National Park Service over the years of historical events, the local historical society here in Noonan, Coweta County, asked me a number of years ago if I would be interested in doing a series of paintings of the Battle of Brown's Mill. It was a cavalry battle that happened here just outside of downtown Noonan. Noonan was a hospital town and homes and businesses, churches, everything had been turned into temporary hospitals for soldiers from both sides of the battles going on around Atlanta. So I told them I would love to do that. So they commissioned me to do 4 paintings. These are big paintings that hang in the local Depot History Museum of the battle, and it shows some of the scenes of the battle starting, some of the activity around the old courthouse where the hospital tents had been set up. But after it was over, there was one painting that I wanted to do that we had not really thought about, and I approached them about doing a painting called The Aftermath. And it's a painting based on a biography or a journal kept by a nurse that was actually here named Fanny Beers. And she describes going out there to that battle site and what she saw, the horrific scenes she saw of soldiers and horses and the dead and the dying. As my illustration assignments began to be replaced by work for the National Park Service, again, this was around in the early 90s, 91. One of the biggest jobs I did for the Park Service was for the Battle of the Little Bighorn in Montana. They had a wayside interpretive program that was fairly non-existent. There weren't a lot of signs or information as you drove through the large battlefield park. Most of the information was in a brochure that you would carry with you or on a cassette tape that you would listen to. So they wanted to do these interpretive panels, and they had me do 17 paintings. They wanted everything, other aspects of the battle besides Last Stand Hill, as they call it, because they had plenty of paintings to choose from already of that particular event. But a lot of the other parts of the battle had not been interpreted or painted yet by anyone. So we did paintings from Custer first seeing the Indian village, to the troops dividing up. He divided his troops up into 3 groups to attack the village. We have a lot of paintings showing the Native American and the warriors side of the story. We have folks like a Captain Weir seeing, he wasn't sure what he was seeing at the time, but it was from several miles away, and he found out later that it was actually Custer's command being destroyed. Those panels are still out there. They've been a very successful program for that battlefield in helping people understand what took place. When you're there and looking at the panel in front of you, just above the panel is the actual landscape of where that particular event happened. Enjoy the pieces. Contact me if you are interested in a piece or a commission, or just want to talk art or have any questions. Thank you very much.